I woke up to a crying baby on my doorstep, with a note saying he's mine. If someone had told me that I'd wake up one morning to a baby, an actual baby, on my doorstep, I would have laughed. I mean, what are the odds, right? But that's exactly what happened. It was just past 6 a.m. on the 31st of August, 2020. I remember the time clearly because I had been up late binge watching some show with Tessa, my girlfriend. We'd only been living together for about 3 months, so we were still in that sweet spot where everything was new and exciting. Anyway, I heard crying. At first, I thought it was from the TV I forgot to turn off, or maybe a neighbor's kid. But when I opened my front door, man, there was a baby swaddled in this worn-out pattern blanket, lying in a box with nothing but a pack of half-used diapers and a note. I still have that note. It says, "This is your son. Please take care of him." That sentence shattered my entire reality in 3 seconds flat. Tessa came up behind me, rubbing sleep from her eyes. The second she saw him, she gasped. "What the hell, Jordan?" And I get it. What else do you say when your boyfriend has a baby at his door with a note claiming it's his? We brought the baby inside. I didn't even think. Instinct, maybe? I mean, what do you do, leave him out there? No way. He kept crying until I figured out how to make him a bottle. Thank God whoever left him included one in the box. I fed him with shaking hand while Tessa just sat there, staring at me like I was someone else. Someone she didn't recognize. "Is this some kind of joke?" she asked. "No, I swear on everything. I have no idea who would do this. But the note says he's yours." "I don't even know a woman who just had a baby," I said, and I meant it. At least I thought I did. She didn't respond to that. Just crossed her arms and watched me like she was doing the math in her head. Like maybe there was something I'd forgotten to mention. Some name, some hookup, something. I wanted to believe this would blow over. That it was a mistake or a prank or anything but real. But that baby in my arms? He was real, and he wasn't going anywhere. Tessa didn't leave, but I could feel the wall going up between us. She helped where she could, found some clean baby clothes at the pharmacy, Googled how to check for diaper rash. She even sat next to me during the baby's first doctor's appointment. But she was quiet. Too quiet. You see, when someone you love thinks you're lying, even if you're not, you feel it. It's like this invisible tension that follows you from room to room. She didn't say it out loud, but I knew what she was thinking. What if he cheated? What if this baby really is his? And he just never told me. At one point, she asked about this girl from my old job. Alicia. I told her about Alicia in passing, how she used to flirt with me, and we had a few nights together, but nothing ever happened. We were just friends, briefly, and then lost touch. "Are you sure you never slept with her?" she asked. I blinked. "I'm sure," but my voice sounded unsure, even to me, because now I was starting to doubt myself. What if there was something I didn't remember? Some night I'd forgotten? Something I missed? That night, she went to bed early. I stayed up with the baby on my chest, listening to him breathe, trying not to panic. Because if I was this kid's father, I needed to know how. And if I wasn't, then someone wanted me to believe I was. The hardest part wasn't the crying, or the diapers, or the fact that I hadn't showered in 2 days. It was the silence. The kind of silence that makes your ears ring. Tessa was still there, technically. She slept on the couch, said it was to be closer to the baby, but we both knew that wasn't the whole truth. She was closer to him than she was to me. Every time I caught her looking at me, it was like she was trying to connect dots I couldn't see. Like she was waiting for me to slip and say something that would confirm what she feared most. I kept asking myself, what if she leaves? But the scarier thought, what if she stays, but never trusts me again? I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the baby sleeping in a portable bassinet we'd borrowed from Tessa's sister. I should have felt something by now, something strong and fatherly. But all I felt was dread. That's when I did it. I picked up my phone and searched for Alicia's number. It had been almost 2 years since we last talked. I hesitated for a long time before typing. "Hey, this is Jordan. I know this is random, but did you have a baby?" I stared at the message for a while before hitting send. Then I put the phone down and waited. And waited. Hours passed. I fed the baby again. Tessa came and went, barely speaking. Then, finally ping. Her reply was short. "Can we talk?" Not over text. I stepped outside to make the call. My hand was shaking so bad, I nearly dropped the phone. She answered on the second ring. Her voice hadn't changed, soft, like she was always scared of being overheard. Jordan, she said, I wasn't sure you'd ever reach out. Alicia, I said, just tell me, is he mine? There was a long pause. I could hear traffic in the background. Maybe she was in her car or walking down a busy street. I think so, she said. I didn't plan for any of this. I wasn't even going to tell you. Then why leave him at my door? Because I panicked, she whispered, and I couldn't do it anymore. I didn't have anyone else. I figured, if he's yours, at least he'll be with his father. I sat down on the porch step, pressing my hand to my forehead. You could have called. You could have said something. I didn't know how, she said. And by the time I thought about it, you were already with her. I saw the photos. You looked happy. I didn't say anything. I couldn't, because part of me wanted to scream, and part of me felt something else. Guilt? Fear? I don't know. And then she said something I'll never forget. I didn't leave him to punish you. I left him because I was drowning. When I came back inside, Tessa was waiting. You called her, she said, arms folded. Did she admit it? I nodded. Yeah, she thinks he's mine. Her face went cold. So you lied to me. No, I didn't know. But you slept with her. It was before us, Tess. I swear to God, it was before you. She looked at me like she was trying to decide whether or not to believe me. Then she just sat down at the table and stared at the baby. You think you can do this? Be a father? I don't know, I said, but I think I have to try. She didn't speak after that, just stood up and walked into the bedroom. The door clicked behind her, and I stayed in the living room, alone again, except for the tiny human who might be mine. The DNA test was Tessa's idea. If you're going to raise him, she said, you need to be sure. She was right. But hearing her say him instead of your son made my chest ache in a way I couldn't explain. Like this whole situation was one big fog I couldn't see through, and every word chipped away at whatever clarity I had left. The clinic was a 20-minute drive, but it felt like an hour. I didn't take Tessa with me. She said she had things to do, but I think we both knew she needed space. I sat in that cold room, the baby on my lap, trying not to look like someone who had no idea what he was doing. When the nurse took the swab and placed it in the little plastic envelope, I asked how long the results would take. 3 to 5 business days, she said with a smile that felt too calm for the weight in my chest. 3 to 5 days. That's how long I had to wait to find out if I was about to become someone's father officially. I came home to silence. Not the kind you ignore, the kind that slaps you in the face. Her shoes were gone. So was her laptop. A pile of folded clothes sat on the dining table with a sticky note on top. I need time. This isn't the life I planned for. I just stood there, holding the baby, blinking like the words were going to rearrange themselves into something better. I should have known. Tessa had always been careful, orderly, future-focused. She had a 5-year plan, and I had a bottle warming tutorial on YouTube. She didn't say goodbye, and I didn't call her. Because what could I even say? Stay for a baby that isn't yours, from a girl I barely remember? No, I wouldn't do that to her. But damn, it hurts. That night, it hit me. All of it. The weight of not knowing, the echo of an empty apartment, the quiet gurgles of the baby who'd somehow become my entire world in just a few days. I held him against my chest, rocking in a chair I borrowed from the neighbors. I didn't even know their names until now. Who are you? I whispered into the dark. Are you mine? His eyes fluttered shut, lips twitching in his sleep like he was dreaming something funny. And in that moment, I realized it almost didn't matter. I was already his in some weird, terrifying way. I'd changed my whole life to fit around his cries and his naps and his weird little snorts. I didn't ask for this. But now that he was here, could I even let him go? 3 days later, my phone rang. Unknown number. Mr. Jordan, this is Dr. Clark from Family DNA Solutions. We have your results. I sat down slowly, heart pounding. It's a match. You're the biological father. I don't know what I was expecting. Some huge emotional explosion, maybe. Relief, maybe even panic. But I just sat there, quiet. The baby was asleep, the apartment was still, and for a second, I felt like time had stopped. He was mine. I hung up the phone and stared at the wall, wondering what the hell I was supposed to do now. A week later, Alicia showed up. I didn't invite her. She just texted me from outside the building. When I opened the door, She looked smaller than I remembered. Pale, exhausted, hollow in a way that made me feel guilty for every angry thought I'd had about her. I just wanted to see him, she said. She stepped inside, looked around, then walked to the bassinet. Her hands trembled as she picked him up. I didn't name him, she said softly. I thought, maybe that was your right. I wanted to be angry. I wanted to ask her how she could just leave him. But looking at her, I realized she already knew. She was carrying her own shame. And maybe we both were. We sat across from each other on the couch, Alicia and I, with this baby between us like a fragile truth neither of us knew how to hold properly. What have you been calling him? She asked. Honestly, I smiled weakly. Just Buddy most of the time, or little man. Not exactly birth certificate material. She laughed. First time I'd heard her laugh since she walked in. It wasn't carefree, though. It was brittle, like she wasn't sure if she was allowed to. I always liked the name Eli, she said, eyes still on the baby. Short, soft, means ascended, or something like that. I said the name out loud. Eli. It felt right. Like a word I'd said my whole life and just forgot. Eli it is. We didn't shake hands or hug or do anything that marked the moment as huge. But something shifted in the room, like naming him made everything feel more permanent, more real. She didn't stay long. An hour, maybe two. She fed him while I watched, her hands instinctively knowing things I hadn't figured out yet. I kept thinking, why would she leave him if she knew how to care for him like this? And then I remembered her words. I was drowning. Sometimes love isn't enough when you're underwater. Before she left, she paused by the door. I'm not asking for anything. I'm not ready to be a mom. I might never be. But I wanted you to know I didn't just disappear because I didn't care. I disappeared because I didn't think I could survive if I stayed. I nodded. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was something close. The funny thing is, after the storm settles, life just adjusts. You don't notice the shift when it's happening. But suddenly, you're boiling formula with one hand and sending work emails with the other. You're Googling sleep regressions at 2 a.m. while rocking a baby who thinks night is daytime. And slowly, your whole world shrinks down to a 2-hour window between naps, a baby monitor blinking on your nightstand, and a diaper bag that becomes more familiar than your wallet. I started calling him Eli without thinking, like he'd always been mine. In a way, I guess he had. 2 weeks later, Alicia called. I hadn't expected to hear from her so soon. I'm in therapy now, she said. I thought you should know. I wasn't sure how to respond. I mean, part of me was relieved. Another part, the selfish part, was scared she'd change her mind and want him back. I'm proud of you, I said. And I meant it. I'd like to visit again. Not today. Not tomorrow. Just sometime. If that's okay. I took a breath. Yeah, it's okay. I didn't ask for details. I didn't push. I could tell she was still walking through the wreckage of her own heart. And I respected that. Some stories take time to rebuild. She came back unannounced. Just showed up at the door one Sunday morning while Eli was napping on my chest. She looked different. Softer somehow. Like the time away had peeled back her anger. Left only the ache underneath. I kept waiting to stop thinking about you, she said. But I couldn't. I didn't say anything. I just opened the door wider and let her in. She sat on the edge of the couch and looked at Eli like she was seeing him for the first time. He looks like you, she said. I shrugged. Apparently, it's confirmed now. She nodded. Do you love him? I looked down at the tiny boy sleeping against me, and I realized I did. God help me, I did. Over takeout and baby bottles, Tessa asked me something I wasn't ready for. What do you want from me, Jordan? I paused. I don't know, I said honestly. Support? Understanding? Maybe just to not do this alone. She looked at me for a long time. I can't promise anything, but I'm here. And for now, that was enough. Because love doesn't always walk back in with fireworks. Sometimes it knocks quietly, waits to be let in again. It was the sound that undid me. Not the crying. Not the nights he wouldn't sleep. Not the endless formula spills or the overwhelming pressure. No, it was the laugh. His laugh. It came out of nowhere, just a burst of gurgled joy while I made ridiculous faces at him during a diaper change. And suddenly I was crying. Full-on tears streaming down my face while he laughed like the world was made just for him. That laugh told me I was doing okay. That maybe, just maybe, I was enough. Now it's been 4 years. I still think about that morning. The knock, the crying, the note that changed everything. It feels like another lifetime now, like watching someone else's story in slow motion. But it was mine. Every chaotic, beautiful second of it. Eli is 4 now. He's got my smile and Alicia's eyes. He's obsessed with dinosaurs and hates green beans with a passion I can't even argue with. Tessa? She stayed. Not because she had to, but because she chose to. Slowly, we rebuilt what we had, only this time, with more honesty and fewer expectations. She's not Eli's mom, but she loves him, and he loves her. Alicia visits sometimes. She's doing better. She's found peace in ways I don't fully understand, and I've stopped asking her to explain. We share pictures, school drawings, birthday moments. She still calls him Eli. Always Eli. People still ask how I managed it all, how I stepped into a life I never asked for. But here's what I've learned. Sometimes you don't need all the answers. Sometimes all you need is a reason to show up and keep showing up. I didn't know I was ready to be a dad. I still don't know if I'm doing it right most days. But every time he runs into my arms and calls me dad like it's the most natural thing in the world, yeah, that's enough for me.
Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of this story in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this.